Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on April 4th, 2022 at approximately 6:40 a.m. PST. Now, I'm returned to this lifetime for one primary purpose, and that is to pass a simple message on to the entirety of existence, to everyone in existence. And that is that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually every person. Okay, everybody, every entity. But it's going to require your assistance. Because one person, myself included, is not going to change the tide of society. Now, the reality of it is, it's time that everyone looks at their own life, their own household, their own business, all of it, as a business. When you look at the practical side of running your home, yeah, it is best, in my opinion, to really look at it as a practical endeavor. Okay, to this end, things are changing very quickly, especially in my world. Now, I've come to a few revelations just within the last 24 hours. Okay, now I've got my office working properly, and when we're talking about the backbone of the house, that's where it starts, is in your office, where you're working on your finances. Regardless of what the finances look like, regardless of how much you have. Okay, it boils down to getting things organized so that you can change the way that your world is working. And what I mean by change, I mean alter the negative change, alter the direction the negative energy in your life is running. This means getting the energy running smoothly. Now, I've talked to you about a number of things, but here's where we get down to the brass tacks. Take a look where you are, where your life is right now, and ask yourself one simple question. Are you content with the way your life is? Are you content with all of it? If you are, that's absolutely fantastic. If not, let's get this funny little thing out here. Okay, grab a sheet of paper or a computer. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. Get three things on your list that you can just take a look where you are and ask yourself what am I looking at that I'm not content with. Mark that down. Put that as your first list. It is the first thing on your list. That's where you start. The biggest problem people seem to run into is it's such a big job changing my life. Where do I start? How do I go about it? Well, here's how you go about it. Now, I've got one thing on my list already. Okay. Ironically, that thing on my oh yeah, that can be done anytime. Anyway, 15 to 20 minutes. The reason for 15 to 20 minutes, 15 minutes to half an hour, sorry, is by keeping the tasks to the 15-minute to half hour mark. You can actually get them dealt with. You start with 3. Okay. As you get one completed, you check it off and add a third one. Now, I'm going to do my list right here because I haven't done it this morning yet. So what I've got right now, the first things I've got is to get this recording done and get it posted. Now that's 2 things. Okay, right there, that's 2 things. Okay. Now, a third thing I've got to deal with is a stack of old paperwork on my office desk. Okay, and stuff that just simply needs to be filed. So I now have 3 things on my list. You aim for 15 minutes to half an hour. That way, when you get one done, you can check it off and go, I can add another one to my list. So, of course, in this case, I'll get finished recording this and recording the journey. I'll check it off, add an item to the bottom list. As soon as I get the journey posted, then I check that off and add another one. Now, don't forget when you're doing this, it's still important to make sure you take care of your health and other things. But I'm just starting with the basics and we'll get further into it. Now, this idea that, if you postpone things, everything works, doesn't work. Everybody is in exactly the same boat right now. No matter how you got to where you are right here, right now. And this is the only time in your life you're ever going to be able to change anything. Okay? Because the past is already written. You cannot alter it. You cannot go back in time and undo what you've already done. And I could go on forever with that one. Well, not forever, but you cannot alter the future. Okay, and what I mean by that, you can alter what's coming by changing the here and now. But even if you postpone what you're working on and you leave it sit for a couple of days, when you actually go to do it, you're in the here and now. So we're going to start right here, right now. If you haven't already done this, let's get to it, because here's the thing. Society is comprised of all kinds of people, way more than just 7.5 billion. Your dogs, your cats, your horses, your plants, they are all connected. Now, I classify myself as a spiritual guide because of one primary purpose and primary reason. Okay. And that primary reason is that the tools that I offer you are the exact same ones I personally use. The philosophies of life that I talk about, those are the ones I live by. Okay, now there's only three laws in existence that I follow. But compare the ones you're following to these three, and I do believe you'll find that every one of the ones you follow fits into these three. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay. Those three laws are the only three I follow. Okay. But understand, that means they encompass the legal laws that are set up. Okay. One thing I will tell you, breaking the law, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with the law or not, it's not worth the hassle. Okay. So, before I go any farther, have you got three tasks on your list already? It shouldn't be very difficult. You saw me do it like that. Okay. Now, yes, I've had more practice. But here's the deal. It doesn't matter where you are, what's going on. A tiny little task. I don't like my coffee cup on this side of the table. Now we're taught we're taught that you're to fear change. Reality check. You're listening to this. Every word I say, something changes. Everything in your body changes in between what I'm saying. Now my guess is you're not sitting there in agony, just writhing around in pain. Sadly, some of you are. Now, I mentioned this issue of the coffee cup. My coffee cup sits over here. Now, if I don't like it over there, I reach over, I grab it, and I move it over here. See, no pain, no anguish. It's just now over there. Now, I cannot undo the fact that I moved it, but I can move it back. Okay. Now, personally, I like it over on my left side because it gives me the opportunity to work this left arm, which is still, frankly, healing. Now I've talked to people that have had a stroke before, and what they do is you just learn to accept that's what your limit is. I'll tell you right now, it's a lousy idea in my eyes. Okay, my stroke was 3 years ago, and I came to the conclusion I was not going to settle for just being able. So to that effect, I am restarting working on my writing with my left hand. So that I'll be able to first and foremost, be able to pick up the pen, okay, with my left hand, and then reach over and write something. Not necessarily that word, but you get the idea. But the reality is, I don't have control over it yet. This does not mean I will not. But it does mean whatever you set your mind to, remember, energy out, energy in. Whatever you put the effort into, that's what you're stacking the deck in favor of getting. Now, I will warn you, although the body will repair itself, quite nicely, there are certain times when it's beyond the individual. And an example of that, if you lose a finger, you're not growing it back in all likelihood. Okay, something like that, you kind of got to go with the idea that, yeah, it's not going to work right. Now, I've got a nice little setup here, and I will be remeasuring things because I like being able to sit here and work on both sides of my desk. I don't have a monitor over here yet, but I'm going to be rearranging things to make sure I can get that back over there. Primarily because I like being able to look around here, not just up on top, although I will in time, in all likelihood, have have 4 monitors and possibly 5. I just have to make some adjustments to what I've got. Okay, so we take a look at where things are. You've got the 3 things on your list. Okay, now's the time to get started with moving forward. Now I've got the 3 on my list. While you're listening to me, the odds are you're not going to be doing the other ones. But there are a couple you can do right here, right now. Hopefully you've got a piece of paper handy. Okay, because when there are two things that, where is it? It is not visible. Well, isn't that just figure right? Okay, clearly I'm not going to be able to show you right off the map. I've shown you before. So on that sheet of paper, let's change the energy in your house right this second. Let's not delay any further. 4 words to put on a sheet of paper, and these 4 words, put them on your fridge. Okay, I encourage you to put take these 4 words. I am worth it. Write those down right here, right now. Okay, now when we get done the video, okay, you take those 4 words. When you're done here, okay, or pause the video and do it right away. That's an even better idea, in all fairness. Take those 4 words, put them on your fridge up front. Okay, the reason being, the fridge is the one item in the house that virtually everybody reads whatever's on, even if it's only an emblem. But you put those 4 words in the kitchen on the fridge. Okay, if it's your fridge, heck, write it on the fridge so it never goes away. Okay, because these are things, I've got mine burnt up here. Now that's the second place you put it, not up on the roof, but wherever you're working on your finances, the backbone of your house. Those same 4 words get written down. I am worth it. Go ahead, write them down right now. Now that's 2 goals that you've just completed while you're sitting here. See how hard that was? Now, the next thing you write down. Okay, and we're talking about household income. Okay, figure out what your bills are, and I've gone through that a number of times, and I'm talking all bills. Rent or mortgage, it's the same thing. Okay, utilities, food, insurance, entertainment, savings. Okay, these are all things that are living expenses. Don't forget transportation. Figure out what that is going to cost you to run your household. Okay. Now, for me to run my household, it cost me $2,500, roughly. $2,500 a month. So, understand the dollar value that you're talking about is whatever it costs to run your house or your business. Okay. And that statement is, I have legally acquired a minimum of $2,500 by April 30th, 2022 at 1 minute to midnight. Okay, now this income is from any source at all, as long as it's legal. Okay, which is why I said legally generated or legally acquired. your paycheck, social assistance, government checks, any money you find, lottery wins, it's the same idea. Anything at all that you acquire legally gets listed on your income. And that's what you're targeting that 2,500 for. Now, 2,500 is my household. You get to figure out what it costs to run your household. Okay. Now you start off with that. That's where we start right now. Okay. And again, take the time to write it down right here, right now. There is no point in procrastinating any longer. We keep putting things off. I put things off for literally decades. I used to be even better at it than I am now. Okay. But I came to the conclusion here there is only one option. Okay. And this is where it gets to be really annoying. Okay. No matter what anybody tells you. Okay. And this includes me. What you see as yourself. Whether you believe you have value or you believe you don't, no matter how you came to that conclusion. Ultimately, you're the one that's going to have to correct that. Now, this is why that sign up there is to assist you, is to give you that crutch to get it sorted out in your own head that you really are of value. Now, to me, it doesn't matter how much money somebody has, but to most of society, it does. Okay. Ultimately, it comes to looking in your own heart and going, am I doing right by me? Okay. Now, unfortunately, and this is with myself included, it took me going through a whole pile of stuff until something twigged. Now, I've mentioned before, where it comes to your house, you'll get the idea. Okay, whether you call it your brain that you get it from, whether you call it spirit, it doesn't matter. Call it what you will. Shakespeare put it brilliantly when he turned around and said, "A rose by any other name would smell as sweet." Well, finances by any other name still do the same thing. They are simply a method of barter, a method of gauging from an independent source how you're doing from a materialistic standpoint. Now, for me, things are turning quite nicely, but I came to the conclusion I can keep trying to figure out how to fit into this world, how to match pace with other people's finances. It's not happening. Not the way I'd like. But that's not your issue. And frankly, it's no longer a major concern to me either. Okay. So what I'm looking at this point, I've got information over here I'm looking at, which because I've got a setup where I've got my main monitor here, another one here, and then I've got a third one sitting up here. But I'm now going to be sometime today, I'm going to see if I can rearrange things and get another monitor over on this side. I don't honestly know if I'll manage it, but we'll figure it out. In all fairness, once you get those done, those two sentences, okay, you come to the conclusion that the way that your world is, if you come to the conclusion you're happy with it, then frankly you wouldn't be listening to me. Okay, Lord knows why some people listen to me, but I don't have to figure that out. I have to look at it from this standpoint. My doing these on a regular basis, okay, my coming out and recording the journey on a regular basis is helping immensely. One of the big tasks that I've got to do today, it's big for me, but one of the goals I will have to do is to get this channel, get verified on YouTube, so that I can go live this coming Sunday. But if I don't do the work, I won't be able to go live. Okay. Now, I mentioned that I did yesterday's video focused on that a lot, so I'm not going on into it very far. But right now, the target is simple: 8 p.m. next Sunday night. Let me just find my eyeballs here. Trying to give you a date for what next Sunday is, and that's where this comes in. Find a little calendar thingy on the computer. Okay, there we are on the 10th. So that fits out kind of funny, but next Sunday night on April 10th, at 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. I'm looking at, it's just going to be short to start with. I'll be going 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday the 10th. I'm going live. Now, the reality is, if I don't get my tailing gear and get verified, I can't do it. Okay, so needless to say, now that I've told you, this just quite frankly gives me a little bit more incentive to make it happen. Okay, so with that in mind, get an idea straight in your own head of what you're looking at. Take a look at the way your life is. For me, I've decided it's time to really step up. Okay, to really come out of the closet and do what we have to do. And don't take that the wrong way. Come out of the shadows is a better way of doing it. I've sat on my tail feathers for, well, really 58 years, trying to avoid things. I've done it rather successfully. But there comes a point where you have to look in the mirror, where it's best to look in the mirror, and go, here's the reality of where I'm standing. Now, I can do one of two things. I can strive, and this is the conclusion I came to. I can strive to do things the way that everybody in society tells me I should do it and make everybody happy, or try to make everybody happy. Well, that ain't going to happen. You'll never make everybody happy. So I came to the conclusion, thinking in terms of the global scene, I can do what everybody expects me to do and get in trouble for it. Or I can do what I expect me to do and get in trouble for it. Well, frankly, if I'm going to get in trouble anyway, I'll do it my way. Okay, and I encourage you to do the same thing, but follow karmic law. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay, you follow those three and you carry on forward. This society will turn its tide and come back into a prosperous society across the board. But it's going to be up to you. Now, I've got my goals there. I've got finances already dealt with. They're all running smoothly. Even this neat little thing. Yes, I put some money on it. Okay. But on the 15th of the month, I will be paying off a chunk of it. As a matter of fact, I'll be clearing it completely. Okay, because I get my regular paycheck comes in on the 15th. And what I encourage you to do, and I've talked about in depth about this, I'll do it again. I've talked in, this is a credit card in case you couldn't tell. Okay, this credit card, you do put it to use. They are a dangerous thing if you don't know how to use them. Okay, if you don't know how to deal with them, you run into an interesting problem. Okay, they will cause a problem for you. Now, bear in mind, a credit card, a line of credit, a lease to own, or a payment plan to buy things, they are all a dangerous item because if you don't stay on top of it, the money that you require in order to keep your head above water, you'll overextend yourself and you will end up financially drowning, metaphorically speaking. But no matter what state you're in, okay, and bear in mind, if you've got questions, absolutely ask. Drop me I'd love to see your input in the comments below. Okay, and I've already had some responses, some questions. I mentioned when I go live. Okay, and if you take a look at my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've done some upgrading there. That, again, was done with the assistance. Well, in all fairness, the majority of the work was actually done by a very good friend of mine, Dave Scott, who runs Spaced Out Radio. Okay, spacedoutradio.com has helped. Now, normally I don't use people's names. Okay, but Dave is already a force to be reckoned with in his field, in the field of UFOs and alien technology, UFOs and the paranormal. Okay, virtually everything paranormal, and he accommodates all of it. Okay, but his assistance, is absolutely invaluable to me, and the encouragement that I've received from many of you Some of you, I was talking to one the other day, had never seen me on YouTube, okay, until just the other day, and discovered that I was on LinkedIn, okay, which I am. I'm on Spaced Out Radio, well, I'm there too. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn. So finding me is not hard. As a matter of fact, if you look at the bottom of these videos, you'll find a whole pile of ways of getting a hold of me. Okay, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below here. If you've got a question or you've got something of an imperative that you would like to ask, but you don't desire the rest of the world to see, there's a lot of different ways of getting a hold of me. Okay, one of the things that I am doing in my office, in the backbone of my house, is getting these things put together. I think that's the right one. Nope. This one here. Now, virtually all, like a lot of the information I talk about, I put into book form or into booklet form. This one, Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams. All of these can be attained through me, by the way. Okay. What I've done is taken the information and put it on paper so that it can be moved to other people. Okay, because I find myself, I repeat myself a lot to myself, and to you for that matter, but it seems to work. So one of the tricks with setting your office up, get a long-term game plan in place. Make absolutely certain you know what you're looking for. This is crucial at this point in your life because we are in a time of change right now. We've got a great opportunity ahead of us. Okay. And when it comes to your finances, take a look at where you're standing. Find out what you owe all in all. Then we start working on correcting it. Now I've got you started on the first couple of steps. You've got the I am worth it written down. You've also got the statement going, I have legally generated a minimum of X dollars. Okay, in my case, 2,500 by April 30th, 2022 at 1 minute to midnight. You've already got that written down with your own cost of living written in and down as that number. Now, it doesn't matter what your cost is. Okay, what matters is that you realize that in order to keep that running properly, you have to look at your world as a business. Now, with that in mind, and by the way, for those of you that have a business, I've got the second in that series, Believe in Your Business and Follow Your Dreams. Now, I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.